Yo guys, it's Footmaster here, back with another video, and today is going to be a very special video. I'm going to be going through my Euro 2020 promo predictions and concepts of how it would work, etc. I'm also going to be looking back at some promos we got in past FIFAs to do with the Euros that were really cool and maybe implement them in my concept ideas. But if you are new, drop a like and sub. Make sure you stay till the end of the video because I look at some really cool concepts. But yeah, let's get into the video. Now, starting off the video, guys, I know that PES have all the rights to the Euros, so this card design will not be like this if EA start to release a promo to do with Euros. They will not be able to put Euros in the title either, because PES own all the rights for it, so FIFA can't do it, unfortunately, which is a bit of a letdown. But as we've seen with past FIFAs, they have got around this and just made the card designs look really cool anyway. And they've named it other things like Path to Glory and things like that. Now, getting into my concept idea for this Euro promo, I've implemented the one using the Path to Glory, where basically the amount their teams progressed in the Euros, like when they qualified for the knockout stage, quarterfinals, etc., their cards got upgraded like Road to the Final cards do this year. I think it's a kind of similar process. I can't remember exactly, but I think every time the team qualified for the next stage, like out of the group stage, last 16, quarterfinals, etc., then their item on the card will be upgraded with the stats as well. So it's a pretty cool concept, and I think EA should do this, as it would make the cards way better, because there's so many good cards in the game now. Like, it's got to the point where so many cards are not usable anymore, and it's only really team of the seasons or the really meta or best icon cards in the game. So these cards have to be upgradable, or they have to be really juiced if they are released already. Now, the only way this concept could be a bit flawed with my predictions as well is that it would make players who win the Euros, like players who play for the country that win the Euros, if this upgrade system is used, their card will become like 98 rated. If they're 92 at the start, 'cause they get a +6 from when they qualified first, up 1/8 each time they progress. So that would make some cards in this promo 98 rated, which, to be honest, would be quite fair, because the Euros doesn't end till July, and by then, like, FIFA's nearly dead, so everyone would want these cards, and they would fit into people's teams, and they'd be on the power curve, and they wouldn't fall behind Team of the Seasons and Team of the Year cards. They'd be on par or better than those. So that would be a pretty cool thing, but I don't know if EA would do this. They'd probably make the cards way less than 90 rated. They'd probably make the cards 90 rated maximum at launch. Now, first player in these predictions is going to be Rui Patricio. Now, I've given him a 90 rated, and if this upgrade system were to exist, if Portugal won the Euros, he'd become a 96, which would be amazing. He would still kind of be fodder, because the keeper's a keeper. Like, we don't know if he'd be juiced or not in game, and no one really cares about keepers. So at launch, if this guy got a card, he'd be very cheap because he's a keeper, and no one really cares about them. Everyone cares about outfield players. Similarly, I've picked another keeper, and that's going to be another Prem one, Henderson, the English keeper for the Euros. Now, he'd be very good for links. I hope he'd be like a Pope in game. I still use Gold Pope, and he's ridiculously broken. Unfortunately, Pope's injured, so he's not going to the Euros, which is why I've given it to Henderson instead. And I've given it to an English keeper because he has very good links. I'd really hope he was broken, but no one really cares about keepers anyway. So let's get into the first defender. The first defender is going to be Emerson. Now, I'm going to be real. This guy, his card wouldn't be amazing. He hasn't got any specials, which is why I've given him an only 87 rated card. With a few upgrades, if Italy progress far, then he'd be pretty decent. Good for links as well. Links with Italian players like Insigne, Team of the Season. And he also links with Prem players and strong links with Chelsea players, which is pretty cool, I guess. But the card wouldn't be amazing. It may be decent in game. He may be one of those people like Ferland Mendy who's broken, but I highly doubt it. But yeah, he'd be a decent card. First centre-back is going to be John Stones. Now, I think this guy would be a very good card, and people would be very happy with this, because he's strong links with people like Ruben Diaz and Edison, Team of the Seasons. And he'd also be kind of better than Ruben Diaz because of his pace. His defending and physical would be a bit less, actually, so maybe he wouldn't be better, but he'd be a bit faster, which is always nice. And he gets English links as well, so he'd be very linkable in teams. And I think with upgrades, if England hopefully make it far, it's coming home. If he gets upgrades, he'll be very good. I think he'd be an endgame centre-back, and yeah, it'd be a nice addition to a promo. Another centre-back's going to be Denier. Now, this guy guy kind of looks similar to Kimpembe's Team of the Season card. That was free though. This one probably wouldn't be free if he was released, because EA like to make their money off packs. But yeah, it'd be a very good card. Like, I think Denaya's in form at the start of the game, or near the start, he was very good, and his pace isn't the worst. Like, it's not the best, obviously. Like, Mbappe would probably still get in front of him, but hopefully his defending and physicality would make up for it in game. I think he's very big in game as well. I've played with his other cards and he feels very good on the ball, and pace wise he feels decently quick. So yeah, I think he'd be a good card, and I think he could get a few upgrades because Belgium are a very good team, and he'd be a good addition to this promo. At right back we have Florenzi. Now this guy with a few upgrades would be very good. Like, he could play most positions in midfield as well because of his good shooting and all-round stats. He'd be similar to that Klaus Team of the Season card, and he could reach better heights than that card if he gets a few upgrades, if Italy did well. So yeah, I think this card would be a cool addition. Very good links with PSG players as well, like that Kimpembe card, strong links to him. So it'd be a cool addition, and it would be a very nice card. First midfielder is going to be Christian Eriksen. Now I think this card, rating wise, it would be very good, but I've only given him 92 because I don't think Denmark will make it that far in the competition. I'm not being offensive or anything like that, but I'm just saying they're not a France, so they're like, the chances of him getting loads of upgrades are very small. He could still get a few, and the card wouldn't be the best at this stage. Like, he'd be pretty much fodder because of his pace isn't the greatest. If he had 90 plus pace, he'd be a very good card, but I think people would still use him for fun. I'd probably give him a try as well because he'll probably be quite cheap. And yeah, the passing stats are immaculate, good dribbling and shooting, a bit low on the pace, which is the only problem really, and he does have a 5-star weak foot, which is cool, I guess. So yeah, I think it would be a cool addition to the promo, but not the best card in the world. Next card is going to be Kai Havertz. Now, if this guy was released in this promo with a card looking like this, he'd be very expensive because of the hype around him. He'd have very good links, very good Prem links and Chelsea player green links, and he'd also link with the Bundesliga because of the amount of good German cards there are in this game. So I think this card would be very expensive, probably overpriced. But yeah, this guy would definitely get a few upgrades because Germany are a very good team, and they're one of the favorites to win it. I'm not sure if they will, but yeah, they have a very good chance too. So this guy could reach immaculate levels. He could reach Team of the Year, Team of the Season levels. He probably already is looking at those stats. So yeah, it would be a very good addition to the promo. Next in the promo, in the midfield, I've picked Koke, and he is another high rated card. But again, he is quite slow, so I don't think he'd be that expensive. He does get green links with loads of La Liga Team of the Season players like Llorente, who doesn't have the greatest pace either, but I have him in my team and he's incredible. So yeah, I think this card would be very underrated. I think he'd still be very good in game because of his high dribbling, shooting and passing. I think it would be pretty decent, not the most expensive obviously, because not many people would have him in their teams because of the amount of Team of the Seasons that are already better than this card. I still think it would be cool, and he has a strong possibility of getting loads of upgrades if they use that upgrade system. So yeah, it'd be a cool card to be in the promo. Now next in this promo, I put Jesse Lingard in. Now before all of you lot keyboard warriors comment, oh, you're such an idiot, he hasn't been picked, he can't get a card. Yeah, I know this, but I just wanted to include him anyway. I didn't want to go make a new player and replace Lingardinho the GOAT, because this card would have been so sick if he got one. He may not have got one, but I don't understand why he's not in the Euro squad for England. I really don't get that. But yeah, unfortunately Ben White's going instead, so he might get a card, or another England player. But I've just put him in these predictions, and I'm going to post it in my prediction post anyways, because of the card. Like, it would be such a good card. Like, his player of the month is very good. I've come against him a few times, and if Lingard got a card that was possibly able to upgrade, that would be incredible. And imagine if the trophy came home and he reached like a 96 rated card. That would have just been incredible. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen, but it would have been such a sick card. Next in the promo, I've picked Ferran Torres. Now, this guy would be probably likely to get in the promo because he does deserve another special. This guy is very good. I think he's still quite underrated, even though he's got a few informs in FIFA and he's got a ones to watch. I think he's kind of slept on in real life as well. So yeah, this card, it wouldn't be the greatest like when it came out, because obviously he wouldn't have any upgrades to his name. But in a few weeks, like if he reached like a high stage in the Euros, like if Spain do actually, then this card would be way better, and I think it would be a pretty juiced card. It would probably be a Team of the Season level card. It wouldn't be the greatest. I don't think it would be that expensive, but he does have very good links, and I think it would be a cool card to be in the promo. Next, I've put Gravenberch in. Now, everyone has been crying out for another Gravenberch card ever since he got that 82 milestone card. Everyone's been wanting a new one. He was robbed of a Future Stars, and some say he was robbed of a Team of the Season as well. I'm quite sad he hasn't got another card, so if there was a Euro promo, I would pray that he gets one, because I really want this guy to get another card. Like, it'd be so cracked. He'd be in the Hullet gang, and I think with upgrades, because Netherlands are a very good side, this card would be one of the best midfield cards in the game. So yeah, it would be incredible if he's included, but I have a strong feeling EA would leave him out anyways. Next in the promo, I've picked Sergio Gnabry. Now, this card would be absolutely ridiculous if it came out. I've given it a 92 rated from launch, which would just make this card ridiculously expensive, because Germany are a very good side. This guy could reach a 98 rated if they won the whole Euro tournament, which would just be ridiculous. Like, this guy would be on Team of the Year levels. Looking at those stats, he'd be so incredible. And if there's a Euro promo, I hope this guy's in it. Next in this promo, I've picked Oyarzabal. Now, I think this guy would not be that expensive because he's far from meta. He's 3-star, and he's not got the best dribbling in the right areas, so I think this guy would be quite cheap. I have jacked up his stats a lot from his other cards, which would make him somewhat usable as striker maybe. And if they gave him 4-star, he would be usable, but I just don't think he'd be that hyped up. He'd probably be a bit clunky in game, but yeah, with upgrades, like if Spain get really far, he'd still be a very good super sub, I reckon. So yeah, it'd be a decent card to be in the promo, but not the best. Next, I've gone with Kulusevski. Now, the only reason why I've given this guy 92 rated is I think Sweden will not get that far in this Euro tournament. But as you say, you never know what's going to happen, but I just don't think Sweden are up there in the teams in the Euros. So I've given this guy a very good card. Like, his Future Stars when it came out was so juiced. He's still quite usable, but he's quite behind the power curve now. Well, not really behind the power curve, but he's falling off a lot because of Team of the Season, obviously. So it'd be very cool to revive his hype with a Euro card like looking like this. You'd get a green link with people like Ronaldo, Cuadrado, all the Juventus players, and you get decent links with Serie A players. So yeah, this card would be pretty sick if it came out. Next, I've gone with Antoine Griezmann. Now, if this guy was released in a Euro promo that had upgradable cards in, and this guy was able to be upgraded, he'd probably be the most expensive card in this whole promo, because France are the favourites to win, and I think they're going to win as well. I really hope England do, obviously, but I think France have just an incredibly good team. So yeah, this guy would be probably way over a mil when he came out. He'd drop off a bit because on the face stats of this card, he doesn't look the greatest compared to Team of the Seasons. But because France are going to get far in this Euros, he'd be upgraded and he'd look very good. So yeah, I think he'd be a good card to be in the promo. Next player I've gone with is Rebic. Now, I think if this guy had a card looking like this, he'd be quite expensive because of how juiced his road to the final was. And the price of that card was quite expensive up until they got knocked out. With green links with people like Kessie and all the AC Milan players, his Team of the Season, Kessie's one, is incredibly expensive. So this card would be up in price because of the green link it offers to that. And yeah, if Croatia get through further into the competition, he'd look amazing with some upgrades. 4-star, near maximum pace, very good shooting, dribbling. He'd be an incredible card. Next, I've picked Diogo Jota. Now, this guy would be quite expensive because of how juiced his other cards were earlier in this game. He'd offer loads of links. He'd get soft link with Ronaldo, and he'd get green links with people like Salah and Mane. So he'd be very hyped up. I reckon 5-star weak foot as well, and this card would be very good. And if he had a card looking like this, I think his price would be very high. Portugal have a very good side as well, so they could get upgraded loads as well. Next, I've gone with Belotti. Now, this guy does have a 5-star weak foot, but let's be real, no one would like to get this card in a pack if they saw the Euro flair, if that's a thing, because this guy's card would be far from meta. I think he's way behind the power curve at this point. Even with jacked up stats like this from his other cards, I still think he wouldn't be the greatest. With a few upgrades, he could possibly get on people's benches, but I'm not too sure. I think he'd be very cheap if he came out, and yeah, I don't think he'd be the greatest card at all. Ending these predictions off, I've picked Trossard. Now, I think this guy would be a very sick super sub. He reminds me of Neres' showdown card that always haunts me every single FUT Champs. So I think he'd be one of those cards that doesn't look amazing, but then in-game is very cracked. 5-star weak foot on him as well would be incredible. And yeah, this card looks very jacked up, like good shooting, very good pace and dribbling, good passing as well. Decent links, to be fair. Belgium links and Prem links are very good to have. So yeah, this guy on the bench or even in starting, I reckon he'd be quite a juiced card. Maybe like a Neres or Kent type player. And as I'm editing this video, guys, a new loading screen has come out at 6 PM, which kind of confirms the Euros promo is going to be on Friday. I will be live for that as well. But yeah, the loading screen looks very cool. Like, the design looks very sick. We haven't really got any clues as to anything like what the card design is going to be, how the cards are going to work. That will probably come out tomorrow and on Thursday as well, so I'll keep you guys updated. Alright guys, that's going to be the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoy. If you did, drop a like and subscribe if you're new. There's more content coming your way later this week, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, until next time, peace.